Hello everyone, in this video I will quickly show you how to make an LED breathe. In other words, we will vary the brightness on the LED using something called pulse width modulation. When we were working with our LEDs, we have been using DC voltage to power our LEDs. The problem with DC voltage is that it only outputs either on or off. There isn't a in-between voltage such as analog voltage. But what we can do is we can imitate an analog signal by using something called pulse width modulation, or PWM. PWM is a little complicated to explain, but if you want to know more information, you can research on how it fully works after the video. Essentially, we are going to use PWM to imitate various output voltage signals, which will change the brightness of our LED. If you watched the previous video on how to make an LED blink, the circuit I have right now is exactly the same. I have one LED, one 220 ohm resistor, and the orange wire is attached to GPIO 21 on my Pi, and the white wire is attached to ground. Alright, let's get into the code. Alright, I'm connected to my Pi remotely using my laptop, so I can show you the code. The first thing I want to do is to create a file called ledbreathe.py. Then we're going to use the same libraries we've used before in the previous videos. So from GPIO 0, we're going to import something called PWM LED. Then from time, we're going to import sleep. Then we're going to initialize our GPIO pin. And remember, we used GPIO 21 for our circuit. So we're going to say LED equals PWM LED 21. Now we can create our while loop. So right now, we're just going to change the brightness of our LED. So we're going to set LED.value equals 0, which is off. I'm going to make it sleep for a little bit. We're going to set LED value equals 0.5, which is half our brightness. Then we're going to set our LED to have full brightness. So we're going to set it to 1. Sleep again. Alright, let's run this code and let's see what happens. When I run the code, you can see that the LED is off at first, becomes a little brighter, then it's fully bright. Because of PWM, we can output the half brightness. So let's get back into the code so we can make the LED start to pulse or breathe. Now that we changed the brightness of our LED, let's make our LED breathe. So let's get back into our code. Before we start off, I'm going to import a certain library called signal. I'm going to import pause. This is going to be useful for our PWM signal. And we're going to take out this whole chunk of code. And under our while loop, we're just going to set led.pulse. What this pulse function does, it makes the LED gradually become bright, then it starts to dim down, just like it's breathing. And after that, we're just going to set pause. So let's run our code and let's see what happens. Now when I run the code, you can see that the LED is gradually becoming brighter, then it starts to dim down. We are now making the LED breathe in this case. What that pulse function does, it increments the brightness value little by little to create a breathing effect. If we were to not use the pulse function, we can use a for loop and manually change the brightness value ourselves. That is all I have for this video, and thank you for watching.